I'm going to tell you the dream, and then I'm going to break down the meaning of each part of the dream. This dream, first of all, is a little explicit. Welcome back for all of you who are returning, and welcome for all my newcomers. I am Risha GodstyleBilal, your earthly hype human, here to give you inspirational messages, high vibes, a little tough love, and the permission and the inspiration to do whatever the you want to do. That's right, I'm here to talk you into doing whatever the you want to do. Okay, so today I have a message, a channeled message for you from universe, source, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. And this message, though, it came in a way of a dream, okay? Just recently, I started having a lot of dreams, and I'm assuming it's because I'm allowing myself to be open and receptive to them. Okay, so let me just start off by saying this dream, first of all, is a little explicit. So if you are under the age of 18, please excuse yourself from this video by clicking off. I just want to give my warning, okay? And then secondly, I would like to say about this dream, I would like to say that this dream it has a lot of twists and turns in it, okay? And so you will absolutely have to stay until the end in order to get the full meaning of the entire dream, okay? There are going to be some parts that I'm going to tell you the dream, and then I'm going to break down the meaning of each part of the dream, okay? So I'm going to tell you the dream, and then I'm going to give some explanations on each part of the dream so that you can get the channeled message that was meant for you to receive, okay? Okay, so let's start with the dream, okay? All right, so the dream opens up in it's more of a dark room. You know how you see those images of like dark rooms when you watch a movie or something like that, and there's like a red light that kind of like illuminates the room, you know, from the lights, okay? Well, the light in this room was blue, okay? So it was a dark room with like a blue hue from maybe some lights. I don't know. I couldn't tell where the lights are coming from, but I could tell that the room was dark and blue, okay? And then I could tell that it was a romantic setting, okay? Because I felt the temperature of the room was perfect. I felt warm. I felt comfortable, all right? Okay, now this is the part of the dream that I kind of struggled with source and universe with telling. I was like, you sure you want me to tell this dream like this? Yes, okay. So the room is dark, it's blue. I am fully naked. I look down at myself and I realize that I'm fully naked, but I'm super comfortable, okay? It doesn't even dawn on me that I'm naked until I actually look down and see that I'm naked. You know how like you can feel the wind on your body and stuff like that when you're naked, so you feel exposed, right? Didn't even feel any of that. But I just happened to look down and I'm naked. And then all of a sudden, there's another body that appears in this dream, okay? And I am caressing my body up against the body of another person, right? Just kind of like rubbing and, you know, just kind of moving my body up against theirs. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm so nervous to tell this dream. I just, anyway, okay, so. So I'm caressing my body up against this person's body, and then I realize that it's a body of a man, okay? And I'm like, it didn't dawn on me that it was a body of a man because it felt so soft. It felt so good, you know what I mean? And then I realized, you know, as the dream is going on, I'm realizing that this body is very muscular. So you know how you see a man that's muscular, and you know that when a man is muscular, their body is a little bit more firm. So it's not as soft, right? But no, in this dream, not only was his body muscular and firm, but it was very soft. It felt so good. It was very soothing. It was so good, so soothing that I moaned out loud, right? Okay, so I moan. I'm like, it feels so good, right? I didn't say any words. I only moaned, okay? And upon me moaning, this person, this man, he shushes me. He's like, shh. He doesn't speak any words either. We're not speaking words. There are no words being exchanged at this point, okay? He shushes me as if to say, be quiet so no one else hears. So then this tells me that there are other people around. You know how like have you ever been with somebody and y'all are like ducked off on the side, or maybe you're in somebody's room and there's other people around, but there are people in close proximity, or else there would be no reason to be quiet, right? Okay. All right. So let's move on. So he shushes me. He obviously knows something that I don't know. Okay. He shushes me. Why can't I say that word? He shushes me. And I look at him from the bottom up. Okay. So as I'm caressing, we moving, there's no sexual action actually taking place. This is just enticement. You know what I'm saying? We're just enjoying each other's bodies and skins just rubbing on each other. Right. So I look at him from the bottom up. Okay. And then I can see his face. Suddenly, like his face comes into view and I see his face. Tell me why it was none other than Yeezy, Kanye West. This throws me off, okay? First of all, I've never dreamed about a celebrity ever, okay? And then of all people, it's Kanye West. Like, give me a break here. So in the dream, I'm like, what the, so it kind of throws me off, but I'm like enjoying the moment so much that I'm like, okay, I'm willing to go with it. Right. I'm completely taken back by the fact that it's Kanye West. That was really weird to me in the dream. Okay. So I'm like, fine, you know what? Whatever. This feels great. Let's just go with it. All right. So we're steady going. And then out the corner of my eye, I saw someone pass that I had recently cut off. It was strange because I didn't know where I was either. I didn't know where I was. He obviously had more information about the situation than I did. And then I see somebody that I recently cut off, like stopped talking to, kind of purged from my experience. I see them out the corner of my eye, just kind of like run past. And that made me uncomfortable. Okay. So then the temperature in the room started to it started to change. It started to become, a little colder. And then I realized that I was exposed. I could feel that my body had no clothes on it. And the softness and everything that I was feeling, like I started to retract. I started to feel uncomfortable. Okay. So then I looked back to see where the person went. Okay. To see who it was and where they ran off to. I didn't see them. So I turned back to look at the person that was next to me, and it was no longer Kanye West. Okay. Now this person's face, it was an old acquaintance that had previously betrayed me in the past. Okay. So I'm not going to give any identities out here. But it was someone who in my actual real 3D reality who had betrayed me, and I had to cut off. So their face appeared. It was a guy. That face appeared in place of Kanye's face. Okay. And then as the camera starts to zoom out, in this dream, it's a dream. So I can only see it as a movie. Okay. So the only way I can describe this to you is that the camera starts to kind of zoom out a little bit. As the camera zooms out, I'm standing in the living room of a relative that I had also recently just cut off due to some sneaky behavior. Okay. The old acquaintance that was, standing there that was Kanye West, but then turned out to be the person that betrayed me. Okay. They stepped back and then started talking to some more people that were in the room. Right. So now I'm standing in a room full of people that I've had to cut off, who betrayed me, who were sneaky, just a lot of deceptive energy in the room, right? And I started to feel like the whole thing was a setup. Not only was I taken back by the fact that, first of all, when I turned around, this person wasn't who they appeared to be at first, but then now I'm in a room full of people that made me uncomfortable, right? And I'm naked. So I had to start gathering my things. Apparently my clothes were around, but I'm looking for them, but they were like, I knew my clothes were there, but I had to find them. I had to gather them. Okay. So as I'm gathering these things, these people, I don't hear them talking to me, but I can tell that they feel like, like I did something to them, like I wronged them. It's almost like, having a person in the middle of the room, like you're doing an intervention, It felt like an intervention, but because they were upset. So, this old acquaintance steps back almost to like fall in line with the rest of them. You know what I mean? And then, because of the tension in the room, I eventually felt like it was necessary that I had to say something. Like I eventually ended up yelling not yelling, but just talking really loud and firmly and having to say why they were no longer in my life. And it was like they felt justified in how they felt until I expressed why they got cut off. Almost as if because they thought that if I didn't know or understand what they did, like behind my back, then it didn't happen. So they had a reason to be mad at me for cutting them off because they didn't know that I knew what they did. A lot of these people in the dream got cut off because I felt in the spirit and they were, displaying sneaky behavior, or they were doing all of the things that a person would do that, would indicate betrayal or, just behavior that is not becoming of someone who you are supposed to be able to trust. Okay. And so I cut them off. And once I spoke to the entire room, once I spoke my truth about every last one of them and why they all got cut off, the entire room got even more quiet. They weren't even talking to begin with, but once I spoke my truth, that tension in the room, it broke up and the room got even more quiet and they all started walking away in shame. One by one, in disbelief, they started walking away. They couldn't believe that I knew what they did, even though they never confessed to me. Some of them, that is. All of them. Even though they never confessed to me what it is that they actually did to betray me behind my back, they were shocked that I knew what took place. They were shocked. And so when I spoke my truth, they were ashamed and they started walking away, and they were in disbelief that I actually voiced my opinion about something that actually transpired that they didn't know that I knew happened. Okay. So they started walking away. Then there was one relative that was a relative. There was one who refused to walk away. They were sitting on the sofa, kind of like, like that. Everybody else, they took their plight, and even though even though they never confessed or confirmed the things that I was saying, they knew that I was right. But this one particular individual, because they felt like they didn't confess, and therefore I couldn't possibly really know that they, were sneaky or that they betrayed me, right? They stay seated as if to say, well, I didn't tell you that. I didn't confirm that. So I'm still right in the way that I feel about being upset with you that you cut me off. So they were giving all these bodily nonverbal cues to let me know, not saying anything, but really projecting it out that I was wrong and I didn't know what I was talking about, right? Gaslighting in its nonverbal form, okay? So just kind of being like that, and it's almost like expecting me to plead my case or to go into more detail or to prove them wrong, okay? And instead of addressing them individually, I just ignored them and then pretended like they weren't even there. I finished grabbing my things and I just left. I didn't even pay this person any mind. And they never said anything either. They never said anything. They just continued to sit there, thinking that they were right. Okay. And so that was the end of the dream. Everything went black and then I woke up. And I never got harmed in the dream. Nothing, no harm, no hurt or anything ever came to me. But I did feel an overwhelming sense of discomfort, an overwhelmingly a sense of more betrayal, more discomfort and everything like that. So that was the dream. Okay. Now let's go into the channeled message about each part of the dream and how each part of the dream is playing an important part in the message that universe and source is trying to get to you today. Okay, so let's start with the setting of the entire dream. Remember I said that the room was kind of dark, and there was blue lights, blue hues, okay? So the darkness in the dream represents secrets, things hiding in the shadows. And then that blue light, that blue hue represents healing. So the color blue represents healing, okay, and spirituality. So the dream is taking place in a moment of healing after you've healed, where there are secrets and deception still around. Okay, so maybe you removed yourself out of a situation that held a lot of secrecy and just things that you didn't understand, but removing yourself was probably the best thing that you could do. Okay, next, let's talk about my nakedness, okay? I represent you in the dream, okay? So basically, you being naked represents vulnerability, laying yourself bare, being comfortable, being exposed, and even being unguarded, okay? So you're healing, okay? But there's still lies and deception and deceit around, and you're exposed, you're vulnerable because you're healing. You're not thinking that you need to guard yourself. You're open and you're vulnerable at this time, okay? And then the next part of the dream, let's talk about the softness of the person's body. That represents enticement, being lured in, okay? Being lured into a situation or being lured into a moment of deception, secrets, lies, and, just things being hidden from you, okay? The next part of the dream we want to break down is the moaning, okay? Now, I know this might be a little uncomfortable for some, but all the moaning, when I moaned and he was like, shh, don't say nothing. Well, he didn't speak, but he was like, shh. The moaning represents enjoyment with the situation or the moment. So you're not even privy to the deception, okay? You're not even understanding that the moment that you have been lured into, because we talk about the enjoyment being lured in, is a moment of deception. You're not even aware that you're being deceived. Okay, next, let's talk about the person's body being muscular, but also being soft to the touch. Okay, so remember I said when a person has a muscular body, it's typically more firm. So it didn't make sense in the dream that this person who had a very, very muscular body, that their body was soft. Okay, and so this is the first indication of, deceit. This is the first indication of deceit in the dream, okay? And the inconsistency between the body feeling muscular and being muscular and feeling soft is representative of feeling something in the spirit that you cannot detect with the natural eye. It's also indicative of a red flag being ignored. Again, because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense that his body was soft and also muscular, okay? You recognize that there was something a little inconsistent about this, but because it felt so good, you continued on with the experience, okay? Now let's talk about the person's face being yay. Okay, now this is the second indication in this situation that something wasn't right, because we all know that Kanye West is not muscular. I mean, unless he's done something different and I haven't seen him, in the news and everything like that. But unless he has changed physically, we all know that Ye is not like a bodybuilder, okay? And so the fact that we knew who this person was by their face, or at least we thought we knew who this person was by their face, and knowing them previously, but them showing up as something different was the second indication that something wasn't right, okay? And then seeing that it was a person who has been previously, Kanye West being seen as some person who has been previously perceived to be crazy, not right, off, just a person who the public has deemed as, just not mentally together. Seeing this person for who they are, or we perceive to be, seeing them in that light, and then continuing to go with it, okay? So this is, overlooking another red flag. So this is the second red flag. This is the second inconsistency that you saw, but you still continue to go on. So with that, the universe wants me to let you know that universe, source, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, always gives more than one warning and more than one sign about a thing that is not right for you before the things take place in your reality. You always get signs and warnings and symbolism in the spirit before that thing manifests in the 3D. Always. That is what Source Woman to let you know. You always get a sign. It never just pops up on you. If anything happens in the 3D that is unfavorable to you, it's because you have ignored multiple signs before this actually happened. Okay, so we have the two indications, the red flags, the inconsistency of you feeling it in the spirit, but seeing something else in your natural eyes. So you act like you act like you don't understand that this is off. And then you see a person who has been publicly described as being mentally off, but you go on with it. You understand? So you're seeing these things, but you move forward. Okay. Now let's go on with the other features. But you know what? Before I go on with the other features of this dream. Let me veer off. I'm going to come back to the rest of the messages for this dream, but let me just kind of veer off real quick before we finish the breakdown of this dream. And I just want to speak objectively about Kanye West. Now, this is completely off and veering, but just go with me here, okay? I would just like to say, first of all, Kanye West is not crazy. I know he is symbolic in this dream as someone who's been mentally off, but that's just because of that's the way the public is perceiving him, okay? Ye is not crazy. Kanye West is just suffering from the inability to heal, like a lot of people. He's just suffering from the inability to heal. He has some unhealed energetic wounding stemming from some experiences that negatively impacted him in the past, okay? So Kanye West is not crazy. He experiences highs and lows, which, you could call mania and depression, which is what they call it in bipolarism. But we all experience highs and lows. It doesn't bother us enough to go into the office and be diagnosed, okay? There is some purging with him that needs to happen, okay? His highs and his lows are based off the wounding that the wounding that is in his energetic, in his spirit, that when he gets to his highs, he's on full throttle. As humans, we cycle up, down. Our energetic never stays consistent. We cycle up and down, okay? And his lows, when he cycles low, his lows are so low based off the wounding that he still has from the unresolved issues that negatively impacted him in the past, that when he gets to a high, he goes full throttle, using that energy to thrust him ahead. You understand what I'm saying? It's a defense mechanism against his low times, against the depression that he experiences due to the trauma or the unhealed wounding that he has in his energetic, okay? So when you see him on his highs, he takes and he revs up on those highs. So he uses his highs as a defense mechanism against his lows. He knows that he's going to cycle in and out. He knows that he's going to hit a high and he's going to hit a low. And in order to try and stay high, it's almost like he tries to, he uses that energy, that surge of energy that he gets, and he goes full throttle. But what he doesn't understand is by doing that, he brings in the lows a lot quicker because he's not pacing himself. He burns out, exhausting energy, making him more susceptible to depression because he does have those unhealed wounds during the low times, and during those that low energy that we all experience. It turns into depression because he has the wounding that needs to be addressed, okay? But he puts himself in the low energy space a lot quicker by going full throttle when he has those high energy moments. So because he does that during his low energy times, like we all have low energy times, but during his low energy times, due to the wounding again that he still has, he has no energy to fight off the negativity that we all inherently and inevitably experience as humans, having a human experience here on Earth. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but just stick in here with me because this is going to all make sense real quick, okay? So to further explain, because I want to give you some understanding about yourself and your body too real quick, okay? To further explain, we all constantly run through energetic cycles, okay? Our energy is self-generated, through food, the sun, we take in the energy and then we convert the energy, right? We are all electromagnetic beings. We cycle energetically, okay? We go through a period of rest, energy generation, and energy maintenance or stabilization, okay? And then back into the period of energetic rest, okay? His wounding is like dirt settling in a tank. if that makes sense. If you shake the tank, the dirt starts to come up, okay? You actually have to clean the tank in order to get rid of that volatile energy inside of our energetic bodies, okay? So if you get rid of the dirt in the tank, the next time you shake up the tank, which is significant to our energetic revving up, that energy generation period, right? If you clean out the dirt of the tank, the next time you shake the tank up, there will be no dirt coming to the surface, okay? So when he's going through that phase of the energy generation, or that surging of the energy that powers him up, so to speak, is like shaking the tank. And the wounding that is inside of him, which is the stored up volatile negative energy, which we all do get, the dirt starts to rise up to be seen and is manifested through what we experience from him as his behavior. This is why you perceive that he is acting erratically, because that stored up negative energy from the wounding is a volatile energy, okay? Emotions are just energy, and we manifest our emotions through our behavior and our physical demeanor. So if he has unresolved negative emotions trapped and stored in his body, in his energetic aura or in his energetic sphere, when he hits that period of energetic surging, it all comes back up. And that goes for anybody, you know what I'm saying? And depending on the makeup of your body and your personality, you demonstrate that negativity in different ways. Most of y'all are numbing your bodies from it with cigarettes, weed, alcohol. Y'all are numbing your body from experiencing the type of behavior that he is displaying. Because if y'all didn't smoke cigarettes, if you didn't drink alcohol, and if you didn't smoke weed or whatever it is that you do to cope with your behavior day to day, y'all would be acting the same way. That's why I need to go outside, I need to smoke a cigarette, because you're trying to maintain and control that volatile energy in your body because you're unhealed, you're wounded, okay? And just for the ladies, as women, we have a leg up on the men. Just so you know, we have a leg up on them because we go through monthly cycles of release, our lunar cycle, our period. We cycle, you know what I'm saying? And that forces us to release large concentrated amounts of toxins from our body each month. So we have a leg up on them. This is why, ladies, when you have the more toxins that you have in your body and the more stress that you're experiencing in your day-to-day life, the more painful and the longer your periods are. I can guarantee you, 97% guarantee you, that this is why your periods are so painful and why they're so long. And the only reason why I say 97% is because I'm giving a 2% chance that your body is just made that way. You know what I'm saying? As a human race, we do have abnormal bodies and behaviors that manifest in the human experience, okay? So I give it the 2%. And that last 1% is just to give an account for any other reason that, that you might be experiencing irregular periods or long periods or painful periods, okay? Reasons that we might not have discovered as a human race. But I can pretty much guarantee you that 97% sure, I'm 97% sure that the reason why your periods are so painful and so long and, all this other stuff is because you're experiencing a lot of stress and you are putting in your body, you're taking in a lot of toxins from the environment, okay? All right, so... But let me just get back to, let me explain something a little bit more, and then we're going to get back to this dream, okay? The traumatic energy stored in your body is a volatile energy, all right? That's why when you are stressed for a long time, you can risk developing ailments in your body like cancer, okay? The volatile energy in the body damages the cells in your body. It's turning the normal cells into abnormal cells because it's volatile energy, okay? And then these abnormal cells continue to divide. They continue to divide and flood the body with more abnormal cells, presenting in the body as what we call cancer, okay? And it can show up, before it gets to cancer, it shows up as, other things like stress can make you feel sick. You can get your immune system will, become, suppressed and everything like that. But anyway, so yeah, this volatile energy, everybody is experiencing this volatile energy who is experiencing stress, daily stress, and has no way to relieve it, but you're over here numbing your body with substances. Okay, so you can't feel what's really going on in your body. And that's why on the surface you come off as calm and cool and collective. But let me take those substances away from you, and let's see how you behave then. So as I was saying, when your energy surges, when you cycle through the energetic cycle, and I just explained to you, and your energy is in that period where it's surging and you cycle back around, the volatile energy is induced and magnified in that period. You understand what I'm saying? So it causes you to present in various ways, just different ways, depending on your personality and the learned behaviors that you have. Okay. So if Kanye were truly crazy, the way that y'all trying to make it seem like that he's crazy, he would have a more negative impact on the world. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing I see from him is him talking about innovation in an extremely enthusiastic way. I see him taking risk that most people wouldn't take. Okay. So by the very definition of what the word crazy means, then yeah, maybe he's crazy. Sure. But I don't see him tearing anyone down. I don't see him fighting anyone. I don't see him being physically harmful to anyone. Y'all need to go check out that video that I did called "Don't Be Afraid to Be Called Crazy." I do a complete breakdown of this word. You understand? Okay, go check it out. It's really informational. But he's not crazy the way that the world is making him out to be. Okay? Y'all go out here and fight exes and side chicks, and y'all call that ish normal. Okay, make it make sense. You can go off on people, and y'all can, be mean to people, and that's normal. I don't see him doing any of that. And then y'all say, well, what about the situation with Kim? That woman was his wife. The most he did, y'all get mad when somebody eats your food. You hear me? The most he did in that situation when someone took his wife, in his perception took his wife, was he created an artistic depiction of what most of y'all be thinking about in your head about the person that someone that you love. You be thinking the same thing about that person, if not worse. But the only thing he did was he made it into an artistic visualization for the world to see. Okay, y'all fools be out here fighting. He didn't fight this man. He just expressed how he felt about this person who he felt wronged him. So from what I objectively gathered, from the whole thing, is that the only thing that the public seems to really be calling him crazy about or be worried about is the fact that he's making himself look bad by your standards. Now, just for the record, I just want to say this. I am not speaking as an LPC or a licensed professional counselor, okay? Because I'm not licensed, okay? I'm speaking as a psychology enthusiast who has studied human behavior and emotions for over a decade and has loved it so much that I spent most of my life in school acquiring multiple degrees in the area of psychology, okay? I'm speaking as someone who has had trauma myself that caused me to have a mental health issue resulting in a clinical diagnosis that was resolved and stabilized after healing my own energetic wounding. Okay, so I I perceive that I know what I'm looking at, okay, based off the fruits of the situation. It's not like this man is a violent person. He merely expresses himself the way that he sees fit, which is his right as a human being here on earth, just like you, just like me. You understand? Go watch that the video that I made. It's called You Are God, or You Are Gods, and This Is Hell. Okay, y'all have been socialized into a culture of fear of being who you are, of being yourself, for fear of ridicule from other people who are sitting there judging just like you, or not judging but condemning other people just like you're sitting there doing it. This is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll get back to the dream, okay? But when you are judging people, you have to look at the fruits that they are producing. You understand? You have to look at the fruits from what they are doing here in life. Half of y'all calling him crazy haven't even produced. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to say it. And the biggest fruit that I can see from him that he is producing is honesty, innovation, and a willingness to admit when he's wrong. Well, you say, well, Risha, what you talking about? Okay, let's go back into history, shall we? The Nicki Minaj situation between him and Nicki Minaj. When she came out and said that, she felt like he might be trying to, he might be being too hard on her because she felt like that, she was a better rapper. He actually came out and said that he felt like she was a better rapper and that he didn't want to hold her back because he felt like she rapped better than him. That was honesty. Okay. And let's go look at the situation between him and Sway. Remember, he was on the radio station with Sway and he was trying to explain to him his plans, and Sway gave him a suggestion that he shot down. Later, he came back and he said that Kanye, that he was wrong. Kanye came back and said that he was wrong and that Sway was right. Okay. Now, how many of you know people who can't be honest about their insecurities, i.e. the situation with Nicki Minaj, and they cannot admit when they are wrong, i.e. the situation with Sway? How Sway? You don't know Sway? You don't know all the answers. That famous situation, he was able to come back and say that he was wrong. So you have to check people for the fruit that they're producing, okay? Now, I know a lot of y'all probably saying right now, well, what about the situation with Taylor Swift? Look, that was entertainment. I'm just going to come out and say that. That was entertainment. And guess what? Kanye West is what? He's an entertainer. Ultimately, that situation had more of a positive outcome for all involved. Kanye West displayed his personality and quickly learned that you cannot act like that, especially not in public. And then Taylor Swift, she became way bigger. She became a much bigger name, obtaining notoriety from that situation, and she acquired way more fans than she had before. All the people that had no idea who she was, that felt sorry for her, that he did that to her on stage in public, that didn't already know who she was, went looking for her music and, ultimately found out that she's actually a really good artist, okay? I'm not saying that what he did was justified, because in my opinion, what he did was very distasteful. But what I'm saying is, ultimately, if you look at the fruit from the situation, she got a huge win out of it, okay? No offense to Taylor Swift. I love your stuff. As a matter of fact, that whole incident is actually how I found you, okay? And I found that you're a great artist, and I love you, Taylor. So, no offense. Big fan. Been a fan ever since, okay? I'm not saying that the man is perfect either, and that he has done no wrong, because he has a huge ego. But aside from, making mistakes like we all do, because you make mistakes until you know better. And we all can see that he corrected himself. He never did that ish again. That's another fruit, making mistakes and then correcting yourself. But aside from making mistakes, again, which we all do, he uses that ego that he has to get ish done. I mean, it's not like he went on stage and slapped the ish out of her. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Too soon? Too soon? I'm sorry it was too soon. I love you, Will. Big fan. Love you. But anyway, so all I'm saying is that the man is not crazy. All right. He's not crazy in the negative sense of the word that people are trying to use it in. Is he insanely and incredibly enthusiastic? Yes. So does that make him crazy? Yes. But that makes him positively and impactfully crazy. Due to recent developments, I have to add also that this video was recorded before all of this stuff started coming up in the news about the White Lives Matter and all that. Okay, it's taken me some time to edit this video. As you can see, it's over an hour long, and again, I had this dream sometime back and I did the recording, and I'm just getting up to speed with editing this video. So I would just like to add that having an opinion does not make you crazy either, okay? Whether you think his opinion is good, bad, or indifferent, having an opinion does not make a person crazy. That's why we have Democrats and Republicans. That's why we have left and right. We have people that think differently. And so if he has an opinion that you do not agree with, that does not make him crazy. That just makes you emotionally attached to your ideas. That is, if you feel some kind of way about his opinion. I'm impartial. I'm unbiased. So you could have an opinion that doesn't agree with his opinion. Y'all could have a whole disagreement. And both y'all, in my perception, could be right or could have a valid stance. So again, if you don't agree with his opinion, it does not mean that he is crazy. It just means that you don't agree with his opinion. So I just wanted to put that out there because I did just use this man's name in this video and in a negative way. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave my honest viewpoint on his character as a person. Okay. So, but let's get back to the dream. All right. What is this whole message about? Because now that I have given this explanation, and this explanation about Kanye West has gone on longer than I would have wanted it to, but I just really had to get that out and express how I truly felt about the whole thing. Now that I've gotten that out, you should know that this dream, this message has nothing to do or little to do with Kanye West. Aside from him representing what I explained that he represented in the dream previously, this has nothing to do with Kanye West, okay? But humans are super clickbaity, so. But this is actually a message of warning to not be deceived by people around you wearing masks, and for you to be careful about who you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable with, especially when you have seen signs and inconsistencies or questionable behavior in someone, okay? Especially if you're trying to heal, you know? Okay, but let's continue with the breakdown of the dream, shall we? All right. And if you made it this far, please hit that like button and subscribe to get notified each time I release a video. Okay. And Mr. Kanye West, Mr. Ye, I'm so sorry for the explicit scene, okay, that I described earlier. And I didn't mean to objectify your body or to negatively use your image. It was just the way it was given to me in the dream, okay? Love your work. Love your work. Okay, so let's finish up the significance of the rest of the parts of this dream, okay? All right, so let's get back. All right, so the part about me being shushed, okay? This represents the pretending to and the trying to make it seem like, you know, that they're looking out for me, right? like I said, this person obviously knew that there was some other stuff going on that I was not privy of. Okay. And so they were trying to make it seem like by shushing me that they were trying to look out for me, or they were trying to look out for what was best for me in the situation. Okay. But it was a show. It was pretend. Okay. Then the next part, seeing someone that I knew out the corner of my eye when it was supposed to be an intimate situation, right? This symbolizes confusion, things not making sense, signs of disloyalty ignored. Because remember, I saw it and it kind of set me back, but I didn't really, I didn't really acknowledge it. I did turn to see what it was, but it still didn't set in on me once I saw that person pass by my eye, right? The next part, me turning around and realizing or seeing a different face on this person, okay? This represents the mask coming off, the revealing of deception, the moment of truth. So, basically having the revelation that this whole situation is not right, actually accepting it, actually coming to face and realizing that what you're experiencing is not right. The next part, seeing all the people that I had cut off behind me. Okay. Anytime you have something behind you, is behind your back, is without your knowledge, and then seeing all the people, it represented an ambushed, already being in the middle of a bad situation, or in a bad situation before you can get out. The next part, them looking at me like I'm wrong when I told you these were people that were cut off for their transgressions, right? So them looking at me or looking at you like you're wrong, it symbolizes deception, narcissism, okay? When they know they're wrong, but they trying to put it off on you, or playing the blame game, gaslighting and stuff like that's what that is representative of, okay? And then me telling them off, that's representative of speaking your truth, right? A door of escape from the situation. Remember, because I told you that they didn't start walking away until I started speaking my truth, right? It was a way for you to escape the situation. All right. Telling them off is also a representative of delivering karma. You telling them off or letting them know what they did and them having to deal with how they feel after you tell them off. That's the karma. You understand? So that's representative of the delivery of karma. And then the next part was that last person who was still being stubborn. Remember, I told you, so they started walking away, but this was one person who sat there as if, they were still right. Okay. So, and this is representative of the fact that some people will not be remorseful for doing you wrong. They won't have any feelings in their heart about doing something to you that is wrong. Okay. It also represents the inability to accept that they're wrong and to take accountability, and to even still expect you to overgive to them in the face of the recognition that they were wrong and that they have transgressed against you. Even though they did you wrong, they're still expecting you to give them something, okay? And they refuse to apologize because, it's what they're used to. You understand what I'm saying? Some people will do you wrong and they will not apologize. You will never hear an apology from them, and they will still expect for you to interact with them. They will still expect for you to give to them. They will expect you to be a people pleaser because it's what they're used to you doing. It's what they're used to experiencing with you. But remember, this is what you're healing from. Remember at the beginning of the dream, that blue hue, that light that signifies healing. You're healing from people pleasing. You're healing from allowing people to do you wrong. Okay. But, this is a warning of you going through that healing and then ending up in a situation due to deceptive practices of other people trying to lure you in and, basically ambush you, take you down, deceive you because they're upset that you were able to break free. Okay. Now, the last part of this dream, when I walked away without saying a word to that one person who just tried to act like that they were not wrong, that they were still in the right, and that I owed them something, right? So in the dream, me walking away from them without saying a word is significant, or it represents taking back your power, allowing people to have their karma, and not giving away your energy, not over giving anymore, right? Learning your lesson from the whole situation and overcoming the situation. So this is what the suggestion is, the recommendation is to people who are coming into your life to be deceptive, or coming back into your life to be deceptive, or to deceive you, or to gaslight you to make you feel like what you experienced wasn't real, what they did wasn't wrong. You understand what I'm saying? The warning, or the suggestion, or the recommendation is to learn the lesson. Do not overgive. Do not be deceived. And when you feel like there's something wrong, when you see an inconsistency in behavior and the way that someone's talking, when you feel in your spirit like something is wrong, and you have had multiple indications that this person is not who they say they are, or you feel like this person is not what they're coming off to be, learn the life lessons that have been given to you before, which is what you're healing from. Learn those lessons and move forward accordingly, by not overgiving, not giving away your power, not becoming too exposed or too vulnerable, being naked at first, with people who indicate inconsistencies to you. You understand? So this is the entire meaning of the dream. And like I said, at the end of the dream, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't harmed. I had to take some action. But once I took the action, people were delivered their karma, and I was delivered from that situation. So it was a way of escape was made for me, and I did not suffer any harm. Even though I realized what was happening eventually, I saw what happened. I was unscathed. I was untouched. Okay. So that's the thing. You have to be diligent. You have to take the necessary actions in order to protect yourself, in order to preserve your energy. Okay. All right. So this was a channel message from Universe and Spirit. I hope that this really helped you. Please make sure you check out the resources below in the description box. Make sure you visit the website at www.GodstyleBilal.com in order to just see all the projects that I have going on, and to schedule an appointment if you need any assistance with getting your emotions under control, with learning the lessons that you're supposed to, or discovering or identifying the lessons that you're supposed to learn in life through these karmic situations and these connections that we have with other people. I know that it can be really difficult to really hone in on and identify the lessons that we're supposed to learn. Okay. If you need any help with healing, any of that, make sure you go over to the website and, hit booking information and just book an appointment with me, and I will speak with you. And you don't have to need healing or anything like that. There are appointments over there if you just want to chit chat, you want to pick my brain, see what I know. Just go over there, make your appointment, and I'm willing to speak with you, and I'm here to serve. So hit me up. I'm Risha GodstyleBilal, and this has been your message. And until next time, bye.